say that. I'm sipping wine in a robe. I look too good to be alone. My house clean, my pool warm. Just shake smooth like a newborn. We should be dancing, romancing in the key swing in the west wing of this mansion. What's happening? I ain't playing no games. Every word that I say is coming straight from the heart. So if you're trying to lay this on, I'ma leave the door open. I'ma leave the door open. I'ma leave the door open, girl. I'ma leave the door open. Let you feel the way I feel, and you want me like I want you tonight, baby. Tell me that you're coming through.
Hello. How is everyone doing? Welcome back to the Vampire Lestat Season 3, Season 1, Episode 3. You can never go wrong with just saying Episode 3. Happy to have you guys here. Thank you so much. Y'all already know what to do when you get in here. Be sure to hit that like button. Be sure to come back later and hype it. Share your thoughts below about our commentary and what you are thinking about the season so far. Then I'm going to come to you first. How are you doing? Are you ready to get into the episode?
I'm smooth. This wasn't. I don't know. I like this episode. This episode was cool for me. The Daniel and Lestat back and forth hit his climax or hit a zenith, and so I'm here for it. I'm happy with the episode.
Ashley, what about you? How are you feeling, and are you ready to get into this episode?
Lord, I'm tired. No, but I enjoyed this episode. I think I gave this a 4 out of 5 sweet peas because I really do think, let me preface this by saying, one, this is not Interview with a Vampire. Like, it's just not, period. And so I think if I take myself out of the world of Interview with the Vampire and look at the episode for just what it was, I think it was really well done. I have to say, like, it doesn't give me the same feels that I had for season 1 and 2, but I think it was really smart. I loved like the imagery and the comparison and parallel around what consent looks like being turned, like comparing that to Claudia's turn. I liked, Louis dealing with his guilt, and Louis in his kill a hoe era is my favorite Louis of all. Like, I get a joy and a thrill. He looked good in that blood drenched, whatever was going on. I love that for us. So all in all, like I said, I gave it 4 out of 5 sweet peas. It was not a bad episode. Like I said, I just have to take my mind out of it being the Interview with a Vampire that I knew for 2 seasons. And when I do that, I think I can look at it more objectively. But it was fine. It was fine.
I wish I could say the same. Getting into these overall thoughts. I'm not impressed. I am not. I am disappointed and I am tired. I have not been on the Lestat train as I would want to be with this show since episode 1. It's not all coming together for me. I don't know what is getting lost, but I'm not here. Something is missing. And I'm having a hard time wrapping my mind around what we're being presented with versus what we're trying to cling to and give the show props for. Everything that we are giving the show props for is something that is paralleling the first 2 seasons of, or whatever you want to call it. We're grasping on to callbacks. We're holding on to people in situations that we shouldn't be holding on to. I want to get into who and what the show is supposed to represent now, which is Lestat. And I think it's a sad scene. I'm not into Lestat. And don't you dare take him away from me. This is my favorite. Like, I'm mad. I am mad. All of the thoughts of, well, I'm going to give an A for effort. Oh, this was an improvement. Anything that I could give this show a prop for currently is a test to things that we've already been introduced to in those previous seasons. And I can't give you, I'm going to give you an A for effort because you were able to contradict some things and parallel something to a beloved character like Claudia. That's all I have to hold on to. There was never a moment to breathe and Interview with the Vampire. They made sense and logic with every single moment, every single hour. It was necessary. There wasn't a miss. There was no time wasted. As of right now, I'm literally still saying, okay, where are we going? Why am I still worried about where we're going? Like, I should know where we're going and I should be enjoying the ride there. I don't know where we're going. And unfortunately, I don't know if I care to be there. Like, I'm mad. I'm mad. I am so happy that there are folks in the chat that are like, oh, this was great. This was such a step up. I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing it. I'm still waiting for the happening to happen. And you don't get to leave me in suspense when you got 7 raggedy episodes. No, I need to be happening now and I need to be on the train. I'm not there, y'all. I'm not there. Is this a bad show? Absolutely not. I'm never going to say that this is a bad show. I'm never going to say that this is the worst thing that I'm watching on TV. No, it's not. But you can't give me steak and then roll up with bologna. You just can't. And you can have the tonal shifts. This can be campy. This can be fun. This can be loud. This can be eccentric. Everything that we can say that's a part of Lestat's personality. But you can't. You just can't. You just can't do this. I'm sorry. You can't harbor on things from the previous season, and then when it's newly introduced things that are supposed to really introduce us to Lestat, it's like, oh, okay, that's when we go and jump the shark, and it's just fun and campy, and it's not as serious, and we're going to give you a little seriousness, and then we're going to take it back and resort to what works here. I'm not liking it. Anything either one of you want to share before we get on with the episode? I just had to say my piece because I'm not impressed.
I liked it. Well, no, but I like the fact that I think because I was soft on this show in the beginning. Episode 1 did not grab me at all, but through the episodes, I've warmed to the fact that not only is this a different show, but I feel like the wackiness of it now serves a better purpose, a more deliberate purpose. And the outside Lestat stuff, the Louis stuff, even though the Louis stuff is great, the stuff that's not specifically Lestat, I do wonder, like, where is this overarching thing going? Like, where is this season going, and how is all of this going to interconnect? But the Lestat stuff, I've been liking more and more in this episode, especially because we went back to, I know we'll talk about it, but we basically redid a scene from season 2 and got Lestat's point of view. And I'm like, the truth was probably somewhere in the middle because this was so different. Like the dreamy, wacky music video, all that stuff was like, okay, this is very much Lestat. This is because we got 2 seasons of what Louis and his prose and his veneer of it is. This is Lestat putting his stamp on the story, and I'm here for it. I was here for it. Now where we going in general? I'm still a babe in the woods lost. But this episode, the writing, the acting, everything, I was here for it.
Okay.
Yeah, I was not mad. Like I felt like we needed to understand the brutality of what happened to him. And I think overall the episode really helps us understand who Lestat is outside of the bravado and the facade. There's really just this kind of broken person. This was more of what I was looking for in episode 2, as far as his vulnerability and how attached he was to his humanity and having it ripped away. So I think it did the things. Like I said, it's just me so much in comparison to what it was. I just really love him and Louise' like dynamic. That made it for me. And I fear without that, it does feel like it's missing a tinge of something, but I was not mad at episode 3. I wasn't
mad. I wouldn't be as mad if it's like, oh, okay, it's cool. We got 7 more episodes to go. No, we don't. This is not an 11-episode, a 10-episode. This is not even, unfortunately, an 8-episodic season. No, we have 7 episodes. 7. Thank you so much, Swing Fan, for the super chat. Hi, everyone. Hey. Like, let me calm down because I ain't expect all the praise coming in. Dumb, I'll be waiting on you to be the eye play. What are you doing?
I know, right? I got some critiques though. The episode wasn't perfect. I got some critiques.
It's certain, like, as an episode, this is, as a whole, it isn't bad. It's everything that we spent time on in episode 2. etching up to this one. And it's like, even now at this moment while I'm talking to you guys, I just remembered I didn't make a slide for a certain situation because it was forgettable. And I just forgot it when I just remembered it when I was sitting here with y'all, like, oh yeah, that thing did happen. But the fact that I forgot it, I wasn't forgetting nothing in Interview with the Vampire. Thank you, Dave, for being a member for 21 months. The struggle is real. Thank you. What up, family? Come on, Tyra. First from, then Raising Canaan, now Lestat. Your reviews are making me sad. Be sad, because no, be sad. Be sad. I'm going to give reviews, but I'm always going to be honest. If I'm not impressed, baby, I'm just not impressed. You can't make me be impressed, Dave. But thank you for being a member. Now, getting over here. This is, something intriguing in my opinion. We're spending more time because we're going to spend time with our mom. We're going to spend time with old Gabby, and we on the prowl. We're hunting some unsuspecting married couple, and Christine is blowing up that phone. Baby, where are you? We have a whole team. Daniel's here. He's mad. There's a personnel of 40 waiting around for this interview. It's like, well, I'll get there when I get there. I'm a rock star. Who knows time? What's what? But on the way to getting there, I love how involved Christine is. Christine said, yeah, get the crew out here, clean it all up, wrap it on up, make it spotless. We need to know that none of them were ever here. I do the dirty work and everything else. But it's like, yeah, I probably shouldn't have gotten there on time. Now that I'm reflecting back on the moment via these failure records, I'm regretting how I handled things with Daniel. I was like, oh gosh. I was like, what happened? It really made me kind of anticipate some of the fallout. What do you think happened with Daniel? Like, what is he regretting at this moment? What happened?
I just think that Daniel didn't, because Daniel spent all this time cracking Louis, and I think Daniel's figuring out that Lestat ain't Louis. Like, Louis was an easy mark for Daniel. And in comparison to Lestat, one just off basis, but also Louis and Daniel have history. They have like personal history together, and Daniel was able to tap into that, and Daniel was able to push buttons on Louis that these buttons don't work on Lestat. And he been on the tour bus, Daniel hasn't been getting anywhere, and I just feel like he's now regretting the investment, because making a movie ain't cheap. And making a documentary, all that money come up front, and you got to figure that out. So I just think that Daniel is realizing that Lestat is a bigger ball of yarn than he bargained for.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, actually, coming to you, like it's like this is a past tense situation, and he's acknowledging on record, like, I'm regretting I didn't do things differently with Daniel. Clearly, they've taken our boy out. Something's going down. What do you think happened to Daniel, Ashley?
Girl, you let Daniel die. Daniel is not in that first episode. I think Daniel is no longer in the land of vampires. I think he's gone. But outside of that, more immediately, you just played in this man's face. Daniel don't have no footage of this. This was all telepathic in his mind. Like, this interview never happened. This 2.5 hours of Lestat crying bloody tears is not on camera for anybody to use. So that's the first slight. I think there's been this overall like disdain or dismissal of Daniel because he is the one that wrote the book. But ultimately, I think it's something far worse, because Lestat is speaking in past tense and says, I really kind of regret, how I treated him. So did he put them paws on Daniel himself? I don't know. But I think potentially he put Daniel in a situation that may have caused tragedy. And I'm going to just set it right there. People are noticeably missing in that first episode, and I can't shake it. But like I said, the most immediate thing is that you played with this man's time and his camera crew. Had that doppelganger there sitting there looking cockeyed. Like it never happened. It was never there. None of it's true.
None of it's true. They made it all up. Hey, EJ, thank you so much for the super chat. She said, congrats, boo, on over 13K subs. I can't with the Gremlin Armand.
Well,
He gonna refer to Armand as a gremlin every single freaking time. Thank you so much, EJ. Hey, Tyra, that Magnus love song was wild, and yeah, Dan don't look like he gonna make it. He not, and I really hate that. I really hate that. Like, At least he got. I mean, if we look at it, then he probably lived, longer and harder than he ever would with the Parkinson's coming down and him kind of already feeling like he was at the end of his rope. But we love Daniel. We love Daniel. Daniel on one though. I'm gonna get into Daniel because say it with your chest. Say it with your whole chest. But leaving this here, this mother of his, I want more. Now, back to what you guys were saying, this did you stutter as a child? This really got me because I was like, you can't come up here with these same card tricks, Daniel. This isn't going to work. You being on the hamster wheel, and I saw that this was like a little notch like this. Oh, this got under your skin. Let me repeat it every time we're in mixed company to see if you're going to break. And it's not just did you stutter as a child. It's like, okay, well, let me get beyond that. Word on the street is that Black Licorice is about that date, preferably Louis. This song is about Louis. Is this song about Nikki? Is this song about? Yeah, no. This is that. This is a connection to the audience. This is a connection to this. Well, this is, a little wordplay. This is all just about me being a performative vampire. It's all just a niche. These songs actually mean a whole lot of nothing if you listen close enough. Maybe the hierarchy and just, musicality, but connection to my muses? Absolutely not. And this just really gets under Daniel's skin. But what gets me here is I'm confused on their relationship. A part of it just feels like you're playing on my time. You low-key asked me to be here. And then you want to be just a closed fist of information just to save face when we know who these songs are about and there's more depth than you're trying to give it. But at the same time, a lot of with Louis, you knew that the investment was not only in Daniel remembering what happened to him, getting Louis to remember, all the spell casting that was going on with Armand, but also just journalism. A part of Daniel here is just a little vindictive in a way that he wasn't before. So much of the focus was on his facial expressions in this episode. And it's like he was taking joy. Like, I want to break him. Like, it wasn't like I'm trying to get to the story because I'm Daniel and that's what I do and that's what I'm good at. And you're never going to play in my face in that way because I'm smarter. But I'm like, are we here for the story or are we here taking enjoyment out of trying to break Lestat? Because it really gave, like, it's not just the journalism part. Like, a lot of it was there was just a sense of pride in the like this in integral like journalistic side to Daniel before, especially in the back and forth, as toxic as it was over there with Louis. But here I'm like, are we here just for the story, or are we here because I get to break Lestat? I'm confused by that, and I've never been confused as far as Daniel's motives any other time before. Ashley?
I think this is Vampire Daniel. I honestly think, and then I also have to temper that against his maker, because we like damn gremlin, there's always something afoot with him. And so part of this, I do think that the vampire nature enhances those things about you. And if we go back to season 1, season 2, Daniel was very snarky. He always felt like he knew what it was, and I'm going to get to the bottom of it, and I'm going to trick you. I think the situation here that's pissing him off and getting under his skin is that Lestat's had more time to be formidable in this moment. And I don't necessarily think that Daniel likes not being the smartest person in the room, right? He likes to kind of have that edge over people. And I think he is dealing with the king here as far as Lestat, who's kind of created this, I don't want to call it an avatar, but this is not Lestat. Like, we're learning little by little that Lestat's a completely different person than who he purports to be. And I think that he has fun. I think the little cat and mouse is fun for Lestat. I think Daniel's getting aggravated, but I just truly, truly believe that this is who he is now. Now, you don't have it in here, Tyra, but I just have to bring it up because during this interview.
Oh, yeah, she's there, Ashley.
Oh, okay, then I'll wait. Because there's no way. Y'all
needed a moment, just because I need a moment just on her. Because why?
Right. All right. Just make sure.
Dumb.
This is y'all silly. This is Vampire Daniel, and Vampire, because Daniel, like Ashley said, Daniel was always arrogant. He was always snarky. But now I think this Daniel, once again, yeah, thinks he's the smartest person in the room. And when he was digging into Louis, he was digging. Like he had his notes, he had facts, and it was like, all right, I'm gonna trip you up because I got context, I got these tapes from the 70s that you don't know I got. So I know what you said. Are you gonna say what you said the first time? Is your story gonna change? He had a journalistic process, and he went and he just followed that process over and over again until he hit pay dirt. With Lestat, it's much more of a dance. It's much more of a who can outwit who can get out around the other person. And I think Daniel is not equipped for this old vampire. Like Lestat been doing this for way too long, and I just don't think. And when Daniel was almost salivating at getting this out of Lestat, I didn't think that it was necessarily all that vindictive. I just felt like he was like finally. He was like, I've been dealing with the charade for so long that I finally unlocked something real. This is the magnum opus. This is the trailer for my documentary. This is what these blood tears is what's gonna get me this Oscar. But I think it was a finally type of euphoria he was feeling. Lestat. It didn't. Lestat, you ain't better than Lestat. You new to this game. Lestat is true to this game, and you're not built for it. But but Daniel is doing the questions he's asking. To me, are still journalistic questions in the sense of like, because this is all documentary style. So if you watch documentaries like Too Big to Fail or some Michael Moore documentaries where he's talking to CEOs and stuff like that, that's what he does. He'll ask a question in the beginning, then we'll go through half the interview, then he'll come back to that beginning just to see if you say what you say or you got more comfortable and now you will divulge more. And that's kind of, but this just don't work on somebody like Lestat. And Lestat had to prove it to him. Lestat had to prove that you not smarter than me. And I think that pushed Daniel just a little too far. The Daniel we finna see now is about to be a different Daniel. This is about to be real vampire Daniel that we about to see.
I just love when he called. He's like, Christine, get over. He's like, he is trying to entrap me. I specifically said that he couldn't ask me that question. And he's asked me that question several times. I want us to really spend more time with Daniel. I mean, like I said, we only have 7 episodes, but he keeps, every time they have like a little one-on-one, Lestat feels the need to remind him, like, you are a vampire. You are a vampire. You're still trying to have yourself on the outs. Like, are you still struggling? What did he say in the episode 1? Your transformational trauma or something like that, like something he needs to be talking to himself about. But yeah, so he's like, he's still struggling with that. And we later have him in the alley, like sucking on some random person. Like, I think he's just lost. Because you had this situation with Armand, your maker, and you've just been kind of just left out to the wind. Like, where does the journalist, the OG Daniel, and this vampire meet? I think he's struggling with that, but he's still trying to hold on. Like, I should hope that this is, just strong Daniel, and we're not just attaching humanity to the journalism. Like, let's just get it all mixed and make it all juicy, because I think, we're not going to get there because we know that he's not going to make it. But Daniel would be a really formidable vampire. But the fact that we are not going to be there to see the two really meet, because I do think he's still struggling, and also struggling with a little bit of abandonment, because as much as I can't stand you, you did make me. And where the hell are you, Armand? Well, we know where he's at, but still. Thank you so much for the super chat. Daniel's talking wild, but Lestat brought him there. He did. I think Lestat thought he was gonna be able to grease Daniel's wheels a little bit. Like, Daniel don't play that. Daniel don't play that at all. See, not this. So he's trying to entrap me. I specifically said he couldn't ask me those questions. Now look at here. Why's she here? Why? I know why she's here, but there was never a need for her to be here. And judging off of this episode, because we don't even have to save it for anything, the heifer walks out the door by the time we're at the performance, and it very much so gave goodbye. You served your purpose. And even in the way that when she's like, all right, we're back on the hunt, baby Lestat's like, baby, don't even open the door to get in the car. Just, I need some time alone. I have problems that not even you can help me with. Why do we need her in so much of an abundance in the first, the episode before this one? It all seems so pointless. Like, even I was so unsure that, and I don't know if it's going to be in a later episode, but it looks like we're not even going to revisit that, because a whole big part of Daniel here, he's like, who is that? Who is that? Does anybody know? And even when we're getting more, into the story, and we even find out your mother, you turned your mother, your first fledgling, your mother. And I think in the trailer, we were thinking that, oh, that's the moment where Daniel finds out who Gabrielle is. No, it's still like, oh no, she was my fledgling, and oh, she's long gone now. So we're not even confirming an identity here for her to serve that kind of purpose. And then we're here, and it's a lot of giggles, and it's very, you don't really know my son, and there's some telepathic things going on, typical vampire behavior. But in the midst of that, we got doppelganger Lestat and his herpes on his lip, his bum bump, whatever it is. Because what is that on your lip? and in the heat of this conversation, and it's kind of like some internal conflict with the stutter, and it's going back and back and back and back into Lestat's history. And it's like it's kind of reminding me of some issues that I have with my mother that I haven't really confronted outside of our sexual hunting, whatever relationship, and the good times that we have. It wasn't always a good time. I have my problems and internal things from family and the stutter and everything that I'm sure that I could attribute to you if I was honest with myself. But yeah, I'm not trying to be a part of that. Hey, bum bump. Hey, doppelganger Lestat. Let's go on in the back of the bathroom and have it out. I said, cool, yeah, girl, go have your time. Everybody needs to know you had. I was like, what is this banshee wailing? Like, girl, I said, oh my God, what? I'm sure it was intentional. I'm like, what? Were you trying to prove a point with that? I really do not like this character. And I have not read the books, but I went to read up on who she was and what she was supposed to represent. And I was like, that seems far more interesting than who you're bringing here. She's very, male-centered, and even in her appearance, I'm like, why is she here yelling with this Bob getting hit from the back by this doppelganger? Like, it was so unnecessary. Between that and her snickering and giggling and what looked to be her exit, what did we need her so much? We have 7 episodes, and you spent the first one acknowledging that she's still here in the present day, and even Lestat calling to her. Fine. We didn't need 30 minutes in the episode before this one spending time with her. We could have gotten her acknowledgement, her being here, her saving, her rehabilitation, even the acknowledgement of their ancestral relationship. Vampires and I don't care. And we could have just left it at that and had her in the past. We have wasted valuable time that could have been given to people that we came here to see on this heifer with the bob getting hit from the back in the bathroom. No. Ashley?
This heifer will be back. She ain't gone nowhere. She ain't gone not a single place. She has not gone anywhere far. Believe me. She wants to see Lestat's utter annihilation. She loves seeing him broken. That's kind of the things I've seen. At every performance where he's getting emotional or deep, there's kind of this grin and this like sneer on her face. Both she and the doppelganger and their lopsided bobs were the most disgusting thing ever. But apparently the fandom loves it, because they've been in my comment section attacking me on episodes 1 and 2. You just don't understand. If you don't get the material, we need this. We need this. And I say, and still say, y'all are leaning into the salacious. There's no reason we needed to see her bent over, tooted and booted, getting hit from the back by his doppelganger. Y'all just wanted that impression in our minds. Like, just call a thing and be honest about it. Y'all think that's going to gain some sort of momentum and shock and awe and all the things. We are dealing with incestuous stuff on so many shows, y'all. Rarely is it a mother and a child. However, we get it. Like I said, we got it. We got it after episode 1. Like, y'all are leaning into this for a reason. Y'all were bound and determined for her legs to be up and for somebody to be getting it that looked like Lestat, and y'all got it. So now what? I know she will be back. Her reign of terror is not over. And in my opinion, Daniel's clocking tea as we speak. Because who is Sophia? Who is that? Who? Yeah, your mother, you her maker. She's your fledgling. Daniel, it's going to take him 2.3 seconds. And maybe Armand even knows already. I need to see what this collusion is between Daniel and Armand. That's the story. Give me some behind the scenes. What is Armand over there, doing his Birdman about? Give me less Gabriella. I don't care. I know y'all love her. I know y'all want to see her getting smashed by her son, but I don't. I don't.
I do not.
No.
It was her when she was like, he was like, oh, yeah. She said, go put that wig back on, then join me in the back. You ain't hitting it without that wig on. Don't hate it.
Look. She'll definitely be back. She'll definitely be back. I did not need her dry heaving and screaming. I was like, this my speaker's too good for that. I need to turn this down. I'm not old enough to watch this scene. But I think that she needs to stick around just to be something that Lestat focus on. Yeah, she needs to be the focus of him overcoming his past, because Magnus is gone, Nikki is gone allegedly, and so she's the only vestige of that past life that remains. So when he overcomes it all, and he has this yelling in the rain, "I'm over you, and I'm over all of this" moment, he needs somebody to be talking to that is a symbol of that, and she's the only one available, unless she's just gonna, open the box and be like, "Hey, Nikki didn't die in the fire. He's been here the whole time." Because I do think the fact that we didn't see Nikki die is a deliberate choice. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, Gabrielle, to me, I was happy with the fact that was kind of the sum total of her presence in this episode. Like, she was just off there being skanky in the corner, and then we had 30 seconds of her in the bathroom, and then we moved on. I was fine with that. Her scenes in the past are fine. I like her scenes in the past because I like how snarky and dismissive she is. I love her in the past. You can give me a whole bunch of Gabriella. Mm-hmm. I don't, but this was about as much of Sophia as I needed. But yeah, she'll be back, and she's just got to be on the periphery because every time Lestat gets like a little, we chip away at some of the facade, it could kind of pans to either he looks to her or it pans to her. Like, she is the edifice of all of this, and so when it comes crumbling down, it's gonna all fall on her. So that's all we waiting on. That's all we waiting on.
I don't know. I just so okay. Her leaving, like, I know she's not leaving, but I don't want her here in this capacity. Like you said, she works very well in the past because she fits there. Here, I want to see like the inner workings. It's no depth. Because we're so focused on us getting hit with the doppelganger Lestat. Like, I understand, like, if you're saying we need those themes to know who Lestat is and why, I get that, but don't give it any depth. Like, what are we supposed to do with this? I thought at this point, or even if we were in the past, we were going to try to connect, like, because I know a lot of people who maybe haven't read the material, and not to say that they're sticking to any sources, but it's like, ooh, I wonder how she how she was acting in the past as a vamp, like when Nikki came into the picture. Did she try to do something sneaky there where he's thinking that it's Armand, but it's really her grinding the gears? When you're off all in your celebrity and whatever, is she there like picking away at Nikki's mind to make him go even madder? Like, just, is she turning the screws? Like, she's not doing anything. And it's like, oh, okay, if you can like mirror that, like, is she going to try to conjure up some of that for Louis? Like, she got another thing coming, baby. This is, just, she's not giving me anything. And instead of, having her, be more calculated or mischievous or whatever, selfish, those qualities that you need to even be this kind of predator, she's giggling and hooting and hollering like a banshee. What am I supposed to do with that? I don't know. I don't know why we would lean into the other part and not the other side, especially if you're just going to have her here. Thank you so much for the super chat. I feel certain that Gabriella, like Marius, represents a way Lestat lies to himself, and she's tied to the next arc. I trust the show to roll it out. Are they? Are they going to roll it out? I'm not trusting anything at this moment. If already so early on, I'm like, I think there's enough material with her to where we wouldn't need to buy time with, okay, we got to do the gross, gratuitous, salacious bathroom gigs or whatever for shits and giggle until we get to like who the depths of, like, I think there's enough material to where we could be doing so much more with her. Even if you want to have them off kissing on each other, whatever. I just
We
I
got,
don't
we
I'm
ain't
not
got,
getting.
we ain't got enough time because we got to have Louis go on his blade side quest, and so we had to save up time for that.
Yes, we do. Speaking of Louis, speaking of Louis, before we even get to the Bruce of it all, I think we spoke on it last live that Louis's mission was just solely going to be that, and it's not going to tie to the central plot. I'm sure that there's going to be an effort later on to tie all of these things together, but as far as like continuity, it's like over there. It's like over there. And I hate when we have those feelings in the show. It's like, yeah, Louis pulled up, shot all his scenes in a day. Louis pulled up, shot all his scenes, and a couple of days, got his little check and went home. I would love, a threaded theme at this point. Even like it's there, but I'm like, we have to wait for it. Louis pulling up to the house on his murder tip. He's just Louis pulling up dressed in all black, just killing people. Do you know Bruce? Nope. Slice up. It's so easy for him. I enjoy it. We all love a good murderous Louis, but is it making me feel like we're moving anywhere narratively as a whole together? Maybe Louis is, but this has, some time before it connects anyway to, I guess, Lestat and their overarching arc together. I don't know. But we love a murderous Louis. Dem, how did you feel about the solo revenge plot? Just the plot as a whole, not the interaction with Bruce.
Oh, okay. So the plot is nothing. It's absolutely nothing. When we get to the actual interaction with Bruce, they actually explain why it's nothing. But the plot is fine. If this was a different season, a different show, but the way the episode ended, those two scenes connected, but it doesn't connect to anything else in the show. Like, I don't get it. And now the scene was great. Now it was shot well. It was the way he floated up and distracted everybody.
He couldn't fly before.
Yeah, and so here the swag of Louis was out of this world because he just effortless floating up. They looking outside looking for him. He upstairs killing. They run back in. They kill him. And the head on the grass and the possum. All of that was great. Cinematography great. Blocking great. And Louis sitting there with blood stained all over him. I'm as straight as they come, but I saw Louis sitting there with the blood on him. I was like, I get it, Lestat, I get it. All right, I see what you showed up to the church for. I see. Okay, so no, the plot is great. It's just a different show. It's just, and for people who saw Book of Boba Fett, the Star Wars show, in the Book of Boba Fett, it's a show about Boba Fett, supposedly, and then halfway through the season, we have a different show. It's just 2 episodes of The Mandalorian. And Boba Fett don't show up. It's just 2 episodes of The Mandalorian. And then we go back to Boba Fett. That's what this felt like. This was like, all right, Lestat, Blade. And then Lestat. And that's what this felt like, bro. But I like the individual shots, though.
I loved it. I thought it was great. And, peep, all the flame, the fire, the cloud. I say, all powerful Louis, bow down. What I thought was going to happen here as we were going through, each and every individual kill up until we got to Bruce, I thought we would tie it to Lestat because even with the sit down with Daniel, he's like, so what do you think about the great conversion? And Lestat gives, the vague answers that he always gives. I thought that we were going to have like some type of cross between like, we're coming for your boy. The great conversion is like, I'm not feeling the great conversion of it. Like episode 1, it's hell on earth the way they're acting down at that auction. I'm not feeling like the impending of, oh, this is something I need to be made aware of. It's more serious than just a couple of hokey doke vamps rolling up to the hotel. This is something that I need to take serious and I need to get on par with Lestat about, because they're not only coming for the likes of, me and a Daniel in a book, but they're coming at you even harder because you're the most visible. We didn't have that kind of interface, and I wanted that. Ashley?
Yeah, I wasn't mad at this either, and I do feel like they looped it in eventually, because I think after this we're going to get into the brutal turning of Lestat, and also thinking about him afterwards, right? Because you did this thing and now you're having to sit with it. I thought it was looped in well, because then it kind of begs the question, was Louis to Claudia what Magnus was to Lestat. It was a turning without consent based on my own selfish desires. And so for that reason, I wasn't mad at it. But as far as him going on down the road, doing his killing thing, I loved it. All except he's working for the man. Like, come on. I wanted him to just do this on his own. I thought it would have been really cute for maybe us to see him in Harlem with Regina before and kind of having this moment, right? Before he goes on and reminiscing on Claudia or something to that effect, and then going on, maybe that would have brought it in. But the True Blue knew he was going to ride all about her, but it wasn't as satisfying as the Theater Day Vampire Massacre because we were right off the heels of her death, and he's mad and he's angry, and we saw the breaking of Louis, which I think is some of Jacob Anderson's best work in the series thus far. When he is in there talking to them rodents and making his plan, how he's going to burn everybody, burn. That was incredible. And so now I think seeing this much more restrained kill, like, are you killer? Are you Bruce? All right, yeah, out of there. And him handling it like he's the Terminator. It was fine. He looked fine. It was good. Like, but I do think they could have probably made it more sentient for the audience. I think there could have been a deeper connection as to his why. Like, why am I really doing this? Because this is a new show, right? And so now we're kind of just resting on what we've learned in the past 2 seasons. But it was fine. I love to see Louis. This is my favorite type of Louis ever to see. I want you with blood splatter, Louis. And then I want you to get fine again right after. That cool, calm, collected as I read you this letter. Yeah. Clap it up. I do think I didn't want him working for the Talamasca to do it, though. That's probably my only qualm with it.
You know, in Louis' heart of hearts, this was about Claudia. This ain't really about the But that begs the question, because we're everybody getting married in this episode, huh? Everybody's hot off of the wedding. We finally get our interface with Bruce. Maybe I thought it was going to be a showdown at the hoedown, but no, Bruce was in no way formidable. We took that ass out very quickly. We snatched that spine out, made that draw as crooked very, very easily. But we have Jinx here. My man, you coming on down to celebrate. They got one more time to show Armand was right. Armand told the truth. Shut up. What blasphemy. It pisses me off every time I see Armand told the truth. Shut up. But we finally get here, you know, after Louis feeds, but he said, maybe it's the Uber out front. Go on, catch you while you can. Go on about your business, folks. And it's like, where's the people? Where's the clan? It's just like, yeah. Do you know who I am? I have no clue who you are. We have a person in common, and I'm here off the strength of Claudia. Now, what I really want, I love this, but I really want Louis to deal with the role that he played in transforming Claudia and the guilt that he feels as far as her passing. I've been waiting for him to answer that question, and Bruce asks it, but we byline it like real quick. It's like, why now? It's like, let me read you what she said about you and how it made me feel and why I'm really here and what you did to her. What I enjoyed most about this moment was the Claudia and Lestat parallels, because it opens up so much more of the conversation. Like, these are the moments, once again, we're grasping at old stuff. We're trying to, you know, piece together, but just the idea of violation and consent. Even here, when he was reading her letter, I was like, I low-key don't want you reading her letter. Just do it. I don't want you reading her, you know, her innermost, you know, personal thoughts to this enemy. Like, because he's not here for it. Like, you just have to be forced to sit there and take it and sit down and listen. But once he asks you, like, you know, that was how long ago? Why now? You could have been. It's like, yeah, don't worry about that. But just know how you made her feel, what you did to her, and how that affected her, and, you know, her short life. And I'm here to deliver it. And we disassemble and set that ass on fire like it's nothing. I love the gore. Matter of fact, when he went up there to slice everybody, don't pan away and have us outside the house waiting. Visually, it was cute. I want the carnage. I want to see some up close and personal deaths. Okay. But other than that, I was here for the kill. Bruce needed to be dealt with, whether we got here 1,000 years later or not. But I just really want something to click for Louis, about what he did. Like he's still hiding. He's still not okay, which is crazy with how much time has went by. Because you could have been sought Bruce out. You could have been, but it's like you had to have the Talamasker remind you and put something in your face, and also have this resurgence of Regina to go, yeah, I'm really not okay with that. But is killing Bruce really going to solve anything? No, not as far as you're concerned personally. But did we need you to handle that ass? Absolutely, because you deserve to pay for what you did to Claudia. Ashley.
Yeah, like I mean, and the people were like, well, it's not really Louis' nature, to do this. Did he violate Claudia? Did he violate everybody? How could he? Louis was a pimp in his former life. He threatened to gut his brother like a pig on the streets of New Orleans with a blade to throat. Like, what are we talking about? Louis has been Louis. Now, we have been looking at Louis through rose-colored glasses seasons 1 and 2 because he's telling the story. But Louis is selfish as hell. This was, if nothing else, was just another means to try to quiet the guilt that he lives with every single day on the inside. This was not really about Claudia. Nothing he's ever done has really been about Claudia. It's been about making amends for the thing that I did. Literally, you made her without consent. Somebody in my comments said parents every day, make kids without consent, bring kids into the world. Totally different, weirdo. Like totally different. And I don't know how you guys are conflating the two things. Like Louis, as fine as he is, he's a liar. He's selfish. He dragged that baby like a rag doll and said, make her for me. Lestat said, hell no, her life will be filled with sorrows and pain and trouble. She will die. Like, it will not be good. Louis said, do it anyway. Do it for me, daddy. And I'll give you some of this booty cat. That's what he did. Like, at the end of the day, okay, was I here for Bruce being taken out? Yes, because Bruce was a monster. I think Vic shared in the collective Discord, if you're over there, the scene from season 1 where Claudia and Bruce have that interaction, and she's like, yeah, I wouldn't think your name is Bruce. I thought it would be Killer. So it's really interesting, and talking about the Fang Gang and all of that, I thought it was really interesting, that callback and how they brought it present day. Jinx is going to be a problem. So even in this,
why would he kill her? I'm not understanding, Ashley. Why would he kill Jinx?
Why would you leave her alive? Why? Especially when she prophesied everybody's death in her ghost form. So, Louis, that's probably how your foot gets gone, or your leg, whatever it is. As far as the death of Bruce, it wasn't as satisfying as I thought it would be, or as I wanted it to be. I wanted more torture. I wanted more than you reading her letters without her consent, because she didn't want you reading her diary to anybody, But he said you got to feel it how she felt it. He thought it was poetic. No. But I really thought we could have, ripped them apart and burned all the pieces like they do on Twilight. I wanted to see some of that kind of action. But it was fine.
It was setting them on fire, Ashley. I was like, you getting your little blood-stained fingerprints on those precious entries? Like, then he set them on fire. I said, Louis, you already read them. We preserved them for this long, and you came and set them on fire for this bastard? Like, no, she wrote them, and she meant them. I can't wait till it all comes together. But Louis, this is always just as self-serving as it was in Perry. Dumb.
This would have been an amazing scene. This would have been perfect if this was 6 months after the theater. If we jump 6 months after the theater and Louis been in America and he done hunted down Bruce and we have this same scene, I'd have been like, get a man the Emmy. Get a man the Emmy. Because let me tell you something, y'all are so bloodthirsty that y'all are blind to the art that was going on in this scene. Because reading, because he didn't read her whole diary. He read these specific passages that were about Bruce. And because at the end of those passages, she says, I hope one day you feel this same thing. All the stuff you did to me, all the ways you made me feel, I hope he feels the same thing. So Louis reading these passages to him is the culmination of a promise. He's reading it, and now the cycle is complete. That's why he can burn them, because it's over with now. Claudia's gone, Bruce is gone, and he paid for his crimes, and it was literally poetic justice. Now,
what really would have did it if he would have got Big D Baxter out the back and had him come and take something from Bruce. That would have been feeling the things that she felt. In my opinion, reading it out. This ain't so.
This ain't Snowfall. This ain't Godfather of Harlem.
I'm just saying that would have done it.
This is no, because this is. But let me tell you, Louis read it, and this is Louis Dulac. But the way he was reading it, man, y'all.
What is old boy over there when y'all had me watching Game of Thrones who was tortured to no end? What was his name?
Ramsay Bolton.
We needed some of that. We just needed to be everlasting. You thought you got away, and I came and snatched your ass up in a forest full of trees just because I wanted to let you think that you were going to escape. Like we were supposed to do that. We were supposed to take that manhood away. I want maybe we had some big business deals as Thomas Pitt. I don't know. Maybe we had stuff to do later. We needed to linger in this. It was cute, and the jaw was crooked, and the spine was tapped, but it was real quick to just what?
He slapped the taste out of his mouth. He pulled his spine out, and also we didn't have time for that because Louis is only contracted for 2 episodes, so he had time for all that. We was like, we gotta get him his check. If we go too much longer, he gonna charge us for another day. So we gotta get this man out of here. He gonna start charging his main character prices. We can't afford that. And so this was great. This scene, from the moment he showed up in the front lawn to the moment he set that man on fire, it was almost as if this part of the episode was directed by somebody else. This transformed to a different show because no other part of the show got this kind of cinematography, got the kind of blocking, the way the camera stayed on him. Even I didn't even like the fact. The only part I didn't like, the main part I didn't like is that we doing this in modern day. That the thing that undercut all of this is it's no way I believe you. There's no way I believe you because you waited 100 years. Like you waited 100. You could have found Bruce whenever. When these feelings were raw, you could have found Bruce and did this. And I don't want to hear that he didn't have a picture of Bruce. He didn't know Bruce. Claudia described what Bruce looked like. And vampires are telepathic and immortal. He had literally all the time in the world. He could have found Bruce. And this Louis, that irritated my soul because now all of this emotion that you're making me feeling from your acting is undercut by the fact that I don't believe you. You only doing this because you saw Claudia in the diner, and now it's like, well, maybe she is, just in case she is haunting me. Let me go settle this debt real quick so she don't haunt me for real. That was all this is. But this was an excellently made scene. Y'all just uncultured.
Don't please. Yeah, absolutely. Had that man Theon Greyjoy. So what's your name? Reek? Whose name? You can take my whole name, take everything. That torture was real. I needed him to feel it like that. That spirit was broken. Thank you so much for the super chat. I'm a Louis stan, but I rolled my eyes when I saw that screensaver. Louis played it off that he got a new man, so he needs to give Lestat his merch back. He did. He said, "Baby, did you get what you needed?" So yes, I did. You're a lie. You're a lie. You will never get what you needed. Y'all, we're gonna take a little pause for the calls. Be sure to hit that like button. It's 200 lovely people in here. We would love 200 lovely likes. We'll see you guys in a minute. Hit the like button, please.
Don't leave your girl around me, true player for real. That's my nigga for real. Baby, it's okay, girl, 'cause I'ma be alright tonight. You don't have to go after the night. It's okay, don't leave your girl around me, true player for real. That's my nigga for real. Situation will arise in our lives, but you gotta be smart about it. Celebration with the guys I sacrificed. I knew you could not sleep without it. Meanwhile, I love you. You are my girl. You see, but you're so steady, baby. It's okay, girl.
Not y'all in here trying to be cute about that. The way Louis heard them, that telepathy way in the middle of Dubai saying, come at me, bro. that vampire telephone line works very, very well when it's convenient for the plot. Now let's get over here. Let's get over here with darling Nikki. I knew a girl named Nikki. I guess you could say she was a sex fan. Lestat meets Nikki, and it's everything here. He's smitten. He's smitten immediately. He says, if I was as evolved as I am now, I would have knew that his plan was mediocre. But at the time, just being, a wolf killer, I didn't know any better. And I thought it was the best thing I ever heard. Now, we have this, of course, mid interview with Daniel, and it's just like, yeah, it was all, the stereotypical love, lust, all over each other. Once we, acknowledge our history, where we came from. I know your dad, I know the stitching. So the 8 wolves, I was really hoping that them 8 wolves would come into task with Magnus over there. Like, it's still up in arms, Lestat, that you were able to handle those 8 wolves. But, that's who I am. And them falling in love. I kind of wanted a visual. I kind of wanted a visual. They sped it up, and we can see that they lusted in the loins and whatnot. But as far as I guess Nikki's descent, which we'll get into, we kind of linger there. But just the love, like once we meet Lestat and he's getting into all of his Louis, and it's like I'm finally trying to love again. And Nikki like was my first everything. Like Nikki holds such a permanent place, and it's so important to Lestat's narrative. I wanted them to give their union just as much, room. I know we can't give it, the Louis treatment or anything like that, but this will probably be, when we get to see him, it would be so cute if he was still alive and he'll just roll up. that would make me cackle. If you've been gone for how many years? I thought you were dead. But I really wanted them to romanticize it and really get us into them. They did enough just verbally having Lestat mention, what they were to each other and how great it was when it was great. But I wanted to see this great love. I don't know. Ashley, was this everything that you wanted when we got to Nikki?
This is not what I envisioned when I thought we were getting Nikki stat. Like, this was not steam heat, y'all. I'm sorry. It just was not. It wasn't steam heat. It wasn't true love. It wasn't any of that. I think I look at Nikki more about what Nikki represented. And I think it was like the last vestiges of Lestat's humanity, right? And so I think that was kind of the connection more than Nikki himself. It was really telling when in the interview, Daniel's like, oh yeah, because that was your great love. He said, I didn't say it was my great love. I said it was my first love. Like, I need you to get that together. But notably, he's broken in even reciting what happened and going back down memory lane. I just really feel, well, I know that they're capable of giving us that in a story. But like you said, it went immediately. I saw him, playing. Immediately our clothes were down. And then next thing we know, it's Nikki unraveling. I really wish we would have gotten more maybe into the courtship and the love story of like how it all happened. I think that would have added so much. And I don't think it would have taken a lot of time. I don't. It could have been, Lestat putting Nikki's hair behind his ear, or, retightening his violin strings, or helping him practice, or any of those things would have lent itself to really building what this deep connection was. Because as much as he wants to deny it, it was his first love. And like I said, I think it really represented who he was before, because that's one of the last people to really know him before the change. That wasn't his family, that wasn't his mama, and was seemingly in the moment kind of healthy. Now it twisted really quickly, and we find out that Nikki wasn't all together, which I think is also very telling about who Lestat was choosing in this moment, right? Because you was broken, so you picked this broken man. You were trying to find yourself. This is the first time you've been able to love freely and live out loud. But no, it did not satisfy me, Tyra. I really was looking for something deeper. And I think from what we've seen in past seasons, I know they're capable of telling us a love story. So I would have liked a little bit more.
Yeah, I had stock here because of past seasons. That passion, we briefly got into Nikki on the street when we were getting more history between Lestat and Armand, and just the threat of, like, of course, on that street, he's intrigued about who the little gremlin, little dirty ass. He's intrigued at that moment about, oh, this is someone, more powerful. Like, who is this Armand? But also, I want to be like, oh, you haven't told him who and what you really are. And you know, for the most part, Nikki was not off his rocker yet, but there was more passion there in that brief moment in what season 2, at the thought or the threat that Armand would hurt Nikki, and him just screaming out in like just protection, or just the flirtatious moments that they had on the street. That did more for me in their union than, you know, this is more time that we're getting to spend with him. I just thought it was really backwards for some reason. Dom?
I don't know how y'all keep calling this Nikki Stat when Licky is right there. I don't know how y'all overlooking that name, but and Armand, I mean, and Lestat needs to stop with this wolf story. And stop with this wolf story because he already had too many holes in it, because he told Nikki that, because Nikki asked the same question any sane person was, 8 wolves for real? And Lestat was like, yeah, I had a pistol, a rifle, something else, and a mastiff. You talking about the dog? You talking about the dog? The dog that didn't make it 30 seconds with them wolves. Oh, so you lying? Okay, I know you lying now. Cool, I got you. You killed you. Y'all like Magnus killed them wolves. That's in my head canon now. Magnus killed them wolves. This episode showed me one, exactly what you be talking about, Tyra, as far as like reaching back on established stuff to make me feel something now, but you haven't given me anything for real. Because this was just like the other scenes from the episode in season 2. Like, this is just like, guess what else happened around this time? But it didn't really build on anything. And to me, what irritates me is when shows don't utilize the streaming platform that you're on. Like, you're not on network TV. You have more flexibility with streaming. So if you are going to commit to this 7-episode thing, fine. That's what you want to do, big homie. That's what you got to do. But you could have easily, in between last season and this season, given me a Christmas episode where Lestat is getting drunk and he's telling me a story. And the Christmas episode is an hour long. And Lestat is telling the story of his first love. And it's just one special episode of him and Nikki. And we get the whole like love and falling in love, and we get the whole thing from Lestat's perspective. And now when we get to this season, we can just hit the quick notes because we already got the context. Like, you could have done that. It's ways around it that you could have done, but you just chose to like breeze past it. And now I'm like, was Nikki that special? Because we didn't spend no time with him. And if you gonna keep pulling this thing around of making me think he alive, but he not alive, now I'm be irritated. Because because you didn't have Lestat tell me that Gabrielle left the room. So Gabrielle left the room, so she don't know what went on. And then every time he started wax poeting about Nikki, we got a jump cut to it. But this time, this really intense scene about the end of Nikki, we don't jump. But the only people who know the truth are Lestat and Armand, and both of them liars. So if you keep dropping these breadcrumbs that Nikki is, by TV rules, definitely alive, but he's not alive, then I'm gonna be irritated, because don't jerk me around. But then also you got to make it mean something, because like you said, we only got 7 episodes. We 3 in, and I'm still waiting for Aaliyah to show up. So I don't understand what you're doing.
At this point, we're getting a Akasha moment, episode 7, and that's like, oh, Akasha, and she's gone.
Yeah, at the end. And it's gonna be at the end. At the end of episode 7, Lestat gonna be doing his final show, and all we're gonna see through the crowd is this, and then cut to black, and then stay tuned for next season. Yeah, that's all we're gonna get. And so this Nikki side, I don't care, because like the Louis scene, the scene where he's explaining the death of Nikki was so powerful. And it was so well acted. He did his big one. And I realized, we'll talk about it later when we get to Armand. But I realized why I think people are a little bit more irritated with his accent than they were before. But he was killing the scene. He killed the scene. And then Daniel playing tape back, and it wasn't there, was beautiful. It was beautiful. That was prime Lestat, and I loved it. So, but it didn't mean nothing, so I didn't. That's how I felt.
Sam Reid and his wonderful acting is definitely, the super chat says it's definitely doing a lot of the heavy lifting here. Because if you can give me everything without the visual, it should be even more heightened when we really get to see it, and it's like, oh, okay, that's Nikki. Okay, beautiful gowns. Make him a man. Okay. Thank you for the super chat. Acting is great. Sam Reid is phenomenal. I am having a hard time connecting emotionally with so much going on. we trying. I'm trying holiday. Thank you so much, Archangel, for the $4.99. Thank you so much. And we have Geo here. Lestat said he's bipolar. Vampirism made it worse. But even with that, like I would have loved just the choice of partner, and because for a lot, and not to say that being bipolar means that you're damaged, but just in a way that he's just seeking out, and what he's gravitating towards probably things that were inflicted on him via his mother, his family. There's a draw to, I can fix him because I'm broken. Maybe I need to, like, I would have liked to lean into that and what it looked like in their everyday average relationship of dealing with someone who was bipolar and emotionally unstable, and maybe just, a more serious side of Lestat. Like, you don't get to be the irate emotion. Like, I got my own stuff going on. Like, I got to be the mature one. I have to be able to, bring you down and come. Like, I would have loved little pockets of that versus, so you're going to make me a man. Like, they all here for the flirting this season. Like, how much flirting do we need? Whether it's him, whether it's mama, I get it. Y'all like each other. Let's get into the, the vulnerable side of Lestat. I like to see him here in his winter coat being being human. Now,
I need that coat.
not.
The coat is fire now. The coat is fire.
The coat is fire. Top stitch. Armand is here. And the fact that I blatantly forgot about the end of the episode and Armand being at the anonymous meeting saying, here, I'm Armand and I need help. I'm an addict type of energy. As much as the gremlin gets on my nerves, I need more of Armand. I need more of Armand. The kick that I got out of them up there in the skybox in comparison to Armand's telling, and it's like, oh, you went back to the theater, and it's just so much different. And then we insert Gabriella, and it's very divisive. It's like, I don't like you. I never liked you. Do you really think that you're a little lonely? You're the main reason my son gets up in the morning. You really think you hot shit, Armand? You think you're the one and only? Armand is never chosen. Armand is never first. Armand is side booty at best. Afterthought at best. Like, damn, Armand, it's never about you. So when he goes, Lestat, I love you. He says, oh my God, Jesus Christ. Oh my God. That freaking sent me when he said, Lestat, I love you. No. It was never that. Even at this moment, you were never going to be chosen. It was Nikki. Like, it's just so unfortunate how Armand fits into the equation and just how broken down he is. And it just explains why he's the gremlin and why he's so vindictive, because Buki, you've never been chosen. When he was like, oh my God, Christ, like, shut up. Not right now, Armand. And then you have Gabriella in the back to kind of edge that on. But by the time we get here and Nikki is just completely out of it, and Lestat feels like he's more so to blame, because I'm not telling you who I really am. We're ascending into stardom at this point, at least for the bracket that Lestat is in. I'm sought after, it shows. But yeah, with all of that going on, you're coming in here late. I don't feel a connection to you. Think things aren't like, didn't you kind of just levitate the other day? Like, you're planning things in my mind and making me feel like things aren't what they seem. Like, I know that something's going on. I know about, we gonna get into Magnus. I know about all of those things, and I want you to love me enough to give it to me. And clearly we do, even though Gabriella warns him. With his state that he's in, why would you turn him into a vampire? It's only going to get worse. It's very Claudia. It's very the same. Like, well, I need this Band-Aid. Maybe this will help because I do care about Nikki. And of course, this just gets worse. Like Dom said, the retelling of it and the tears and everything were just absolutely everything. Baby, the way Daniel was celebrating, he said, oh my God, I got it. Oh my God. Daniel said, it's my Emmy. Oh my God, they're going to give me a star on the Hollywood Walk of, oh my God, I got him. And then to find out, like, you got absolutely nothing. And he's like, run it back some more. There were tears. He gave me something But just the thought that this was personal. Of course, this was petty as far as Daniel is concerned, because don't try me. Don't ever say I didn't give you anything. I'm giving you, it may not be in the form of what you felt like you were getting from Louis, but I give a lot. But I also don't want to use this as a vessel to have you have a moment. This is still something personal to me. So you're going to get something, but it's nothing that you're going to be able to share with the public. I enjoyed that there, and it also felt like, oh, from this point moving on, like Daniel's an enemy, like he's mad as hell that you played with him. But the whole situation with Nikki and the chopping off of the hand, and Armand did what I couldn't because I was just hurting so badly, and pushed him into. I'm like, can we see it? Can we not see him get pushed into the fire? I don't know. I think Nikki is gone, but via the show, it could be otherwise. I don't see any reason why he wouldn't be. Ashley?
Girl, he needs to stay gone. It wasn't nothing. It wasn't giving nothing. Let Nikki stay dead. Let him and Lestat's humanity be in that grave and go on to wherever they went. Because I don't need to see him anymore. He was driven to madness. And as far as Gabriella, I said, well, a broken clock is right 2 times a day. So I mean, but also she had enmity with everybody he was dealing with. She had enmity with Nikki, Armand in that box. Because can you check your raggedy mama? Nobody likes her, Lestat. You bring her along and nobody wants her here. Meanwhile, what are we? Like, what are we, Lestat? What about us? There is no us. Like, you little gremlin. Like, leave me alone. And then it's him pining. Little gremlin is like, but I love you, Lestat. Like, I love you. Like, are you an idiot? He's down here looking at his real man in the orchestra pit, and you're sitting up here swooning like, I don't have it to do with Arun. And at the end, for you not to give your real name, you little gremlin, you're up to something. Amadeo, Arun, whatever your real name is, you're up to no good around the neighborhood. Get out them people's support group. What are you doing there, gremlin? What are you doing there? But like you said, as much as we get on Armand's head, shout out to Asad. I think he's an incredible actor. We do need more of him. He just brings something. He brings that beige pillow into the room, and we need a beige pillow every now and again. But also very beautiful. He looked so good. Everybody looks so good. As far as the breaking, I like seeing Lestat laid bare. I like seeing him at his most vulnerable. And again, I honestly think Nikki was very mediocre. I think he was very mid and a broken person. I think, like I said, it's more than about Nikki. I think that's a part of Lestat that he'll never get back. And I think that's what he grieves, to be honest with me. I mean, as far as what we're getting in the show, I did not read the book, so I don't know the depths of this relationship. But I think it's more about what was lost of himself in that moment than it was really about Nikki, because it has to be by design. They presented him this way on this trash can lid to us, because Nikki was not bringing anything. He wasn't bringing fineness. He wasn't bringing hotness. He wasn't bringing the sex. He wasn't bringing big D energy. He wasn't bringing any of that. So what was it? He wasn't even that good at playing the violin. So what was it? He brought the madness. He brought the chaos. He brought the toxicity that we know Lestat seems to attract in every lifetime. But when he chopped his hand off, I said, rip him apart and burn all the pieces. Hurry up and get rid of him. And for Lestat to say, I couldn't do it. When have you not been able to take somebody out or do anything, Lestat? I thought that was very telling. Also, it does make me question the gremlin. And did you make him remember events like this just to bring like Nikki's out of the crypt at some point, just to throw it in his face? What all can Armand control? Is Lestat, is he susceptible to it? These are all questions that kind of went through my mind. Because again, nobody's reliable. And like you said, if we didn't see it, did it really happen? Hell, if we saw it, did it really happen? I don't know.
No, it didn't. Like, I just need more Arun. Like when we pan the camera in that group and it's like, hi, my name is Arun. Hi, Arun. And I'm an addict. Like I need more Armand to be fit into the narrative. Like when Gabriella was sitting there, is there anybody who so your maker's really dead? Can I trust you? Is there anybody else that we could look forward to in the clan that's older than you? No, it's just me. He's dead. I'm all you got. Like, I love Armand. Dumb.
Armand is great. I love Armand. He is hilarious, and he's such a. I feel like every time he shows up, I feel like I'm watching Project One Break. But I need to understand who Armand is because and I went back and watched the episode in season 2 that this is doing the same time events. And one, I think I realized why people are so irritated with Lestat because I know we already mentioned that Lestat didn't really talk that as much in the other shows because it wasn't his show; it was Louise's point of view. But also, this episode of season 2 it's all in French. Like all of these scenes are in French. Like Lestat doesn't speak any English in that episode. So it's like not only do we get less Lestat last season, but we got less English, French accenty Lestat than we've ever gotten before. So that's probably why it sounds weird to people. But to me, he does a great job. The other thing is that when you go back and watch that episode, when Armand shows himself to Lestat, and this is from Armand. This is Armand telling the story in last season. He's like big boss Batman. When he shows up in the middle of the street, it's like I'm the great Armand. I'm freezing everybody in the street. I'm throwing you up against the wall. And Lestat is like, please teach me your ways. I need to know this power. And he's like worshiping at the feet of Armand for a little bit. And then we get Lestat's point of view, and Armand is the afterthought. Like I really couldn't be by. And this is like 2 weeks later. This is the same time frame that you want me to believe. So I'm like, whose version of events is real? I'm like, when Armand says I love you in one telling, Lestat says I love you too, and in this telling, he's just like, Jesus Christ, stop it. You're embarrassing yourself. And it's probably somewhere in the middle. Like I could easily see Lestat being like, of course you do. You know what I'm saying? Like that probably is what he really said. But the fact that we just get two wildly different interpretations of this story is hilarious to me. I don't understand. Nikki got to be alive, and part of the reason, if Nikki's not alive, I think the part of the revelations we're gonna get is like, did Armand make Nikki go crazy? Like, is with Armand with his mind powers? Is he the reason for the deterioration in Nikki? And because we only see Lestat's point of view with his deterioration and his madness, and this is a young vampire Lestat. This is a Lestat who's still 29 at this point. He don't have all his powers. He don't know Armand's full capabilities. So Armand could have easily done this under Lestat's nose and not know. And so I wonder if that's what it would. But if that is revealed, then I don't know how Armand survives. He got to hide behind the Kasha skirt because it ain't no way that you survive that. But I guess we'll see. But this was funny. Why? Because I went back and watched the other episode right after I finished this episode, and the two is hilarious. Is to watch the difference of the two, because Armand was big bad. I liked Armand last season in the flashbacks because he was just with the cape, but he was just like, I'm the man. And in this episode, it's like, stop it.
I would be here like on. Not that I'm not loving, this show, whatever. I would love to have just give me the Vampire Armand starting day one. Like I would watch it. I feel like it would be so interesting. Armand is so layered in ways that we haven't been able to explore because it's just been him as an afterthought. I think it would be interesting. I will be here for all things Armand show. Okay. Thank you so much for the super chat. Stepping in as legal counsel to Armand Lestat, please. Do you see Armand's face card? These vampires are so self-centered in their man. Look, that ain't moving no weight around here. You're never first. You're never picked. I really want to get into Armand Arun's the Rashid's lineage and just his story. I feel like it would be so good. It must be so interesting to like get inside of Armand's mind and to justify the things that he do. The fact that Dom could even utter, well, maybe he whispered a couple of things to Nikki so he could get on, like maybe I could get chosen this time. Maybe I could be the favorite and it wouldn't be out of pocket because you low key tried to do the same thing with Claudia. I want to be the center. If I can get rid of these things, maybe I'll get picked. You're still not going to be picked. You're never first, Buki. You're just not. I would love to be on the other side of that. I feel like it would be so good because a millennium of rejection is crazy. Crazy. Like you got to manipulate minds to get chosen. You already fine, Arun. You ain't even got to do all of that. You cute, Buki. But this is, we already spoke on this about us not giving nothing. Actually, I just want to know, what do you think their relationship is moving forward? Because Daniel felt really smite.
Oh yeah, it's gonna get ugly. I think that was foreboding what Lestat said. I kind of feel guilty because this just playing with him for those 2 hours wouldn't make him feel guilty. There's something more to this. I hope it doesn't necessarily start a feud or some sort of vendetta. But Daniel's kind of serious about getting his awards and doing his thing. Like, I'm not here for nothing, right? Like, I'm going home with something. I'm leaving here with something. And I think Lestat just can't take no for an answer. Like, Lestat is the petty queen, honey. It's not gonna go any way Daniel thinks. And I think if Daniel comes with that energy, it's just gonna get really bad. That apology, that like I feel bad, wasn't just about that. It wasn't about anything we've seen yet. So something's coming down the pike, and I'm kind of nervous because y'all know I've loved Daniel since before the Vampire Manicure 3000. So I don't know, and especially if he finds out that Daniel is present day in cahoots with Arun, because Arun knows the truth about damn Gabriella. So if they sit down and have one cute little conversation, like it's
Even if it was that, who you were inviting. Even when he's sitting there, he's like, "You sure that's not a part of your maker coming through? Your maker, Armand, Arun, Gremlin." Like, if it was all of that, what the hell you call Daniel down here for? You know that he could be susceptible to those witchery ways of Arun. Are we enemies moving forward? What are we gonna do here?
Have to be. Yeah. This is scorched earth. I don't know how you ever continue this interview without being able to, because you can't trust anything. Now the whole integrity of what we're doing is over with. I think, like Ashley said, whatever Lestat is remorseful about, we haven't seen yet. But this was the impetus of it. This was the first crack that sent Daniel, because now whatever Daniel is going to do is going to be extreme. Now Daniel's going to be in his vindictive mode. Now Daniel might be facade. He might go ahead with it in a facade way. Like, I'm gonna still do this interview so I can stay close to Lestat. But now the Emmy and Oscar is out my head because I can't trust anything. You screwed me for the last time. Now me and Armand are finna go at it, and we finna tap you out. We got to get you back, and that's going to lead Daniel to do something stupid because Daniel, he's not even in. Like, to me, vampires don't count as vampires until you exceed your life expectancy. So Daniel ain't 90 yet. You know what I'm saying? So he's still a young vampire, and he gonna do something stupid because he think he's big man on campus. And so that's whatever Daniel does is probably going to have some crazy consequences. Is going to lead to his death. And because it all started from this scene we started right here, then it's like, dang, Lestat was trying to mess with him. And it ended up in him dying. I kind of feel bad about that a little bit.
I don't want him to die, but I don't want Daniel to die. I don't want Daniel to die.
Well, I don't think Daniel dies. I think they think he's dead because we've in this season we've mentioned, and I think they do it in this episode where like super powerful vampires, the more powerful the vampire, the longer they can like be sustained with the head cut off. And it's like this is the first vampire that Armand made. And so I think that Daniel might get his head cut off and they keep it in a locker or something. You know what I'm saying? It's somewhere for a year or two and then somebody reattaches it. I don't think he's going to die. I just think he's going to exceed what vampires usually go through.
What if he gets hooked up with Akasha in some way? That would be. There's a lot of ways he can go out.
As long as Akasha don't try to ride that thing. I don't need to see Daniel Malloy in no intimate scene.
Not even Akasha. I thought at this point we would have some type of interface between Arun, Armand, and Daniel. I thought just a little piece.
Well, because Armand made Daniel out of spite. Like Armand never wanted to make a fledgling. He actively repulsed him, and he was forbidden from killing Daniel. So it was like this for Armand is not a gift. This is punishment. So I don't want you. I don't want nothing to do with you. I don't like you. I wanted to kill you, and this is as much of a punishment as I could bestow upon you. So I didn't expect to see Armand nowhere near Daniel. That's why they're not talking telepathically. And when he does show up, it's going to be obligatory. It's going to be like our interests align because we both hate Lestat right now. But Armand don't care about that white man.
Now we finally get Magnus in this episode. I said, ugh. Ew. Ew, Magnus. Ugh. Oh my god. Ugh. Now it's glamorized in only a way that Lestat can. We get a whole it's a damn near parody 80s music video montage. He's a parasocial fan. Oh yes, he's been flocking like all of the others, waiting to get a glimpse. Do you want my autograph? You're sitting here having tea and wine all over my paint me like one of your French girls Jack photo. It's just all of that, and I was embraced and I was turned. Well, that's not what Louis said in his description. I heard that there were 1 billion corpses that looked just like you. You were locked away, you were kidnapped, you were assaulted. It was physically taxing and torment, isn't it? Do you believe everything Louis says? You weren't there. Louis wasn't there. He doesn't know. Like they're so tortured to be so old, Lord. They're holding on to so much pain that happens. Like they're so unevolved. It's scary. But when we get the real deal after we leave that 80s music video, I was like, oh, this took me right back to the train and the defile your pocketbook or whatever the hell. We had Lestat say to Claudia when he was like, oh, I'm gonna make you stay here because I don't want Louis to leave and be a mess in search of you. And why he kept harboring on that passage that had the most highlighted Bible scripture. He really did not like that scene or what you said about him as far as Claudia in the train, because it was such a violation. But I'm like, how can we have this happen and you feel across the way what Claudia was experiencing with Bruce, and you didn't go running? You didn't go to her aid. Like, that pissed me off. But we can, just like Louis, we can stay here and let ourselves be mad. Well, I don't like what you said about me in that book. Regardless of that, you didn't protect her when you could have. You didn't go save her. She was learning a lesson because you were being vindictive. But here, him still being in fear of painting himself as a victim and glamorizing what happened to him, and in comparison to the turning of Claudia, this was the most prevalent, like outside of the action Louis was giving us over there with Bruce. This was the best part of the episode. This is the best part. I did watch the after show where they were like, we tried to make it as gory and as violent as possible. I was like, I've seen more here. It's like, we really wanted you guys to get into the brutality of what Lestat experienced, and we really tried to make it just gut wrenching. I was like, okay, sure. Sure, the throat slit. Okay, I mean, if you say so. But the fact that he's just so he's still in pain. It's really really touching in that way, to know that it still bothers him that I would lie to the likes of Daniel and really not coming to grips with what happened to me. But this correlating with how Bruce treated Claudia and the whole thing, like they're just intertwining and their stories meet in such an interesting way. I can't wait until they're healed. I don't know when we ever get there, but it's going to be something nice. Ashley?
Yeah, I did think it was brutal. I mean, just the position that Lestat is in, and all the while, yeah, he was just a fan. He loved me, it was, equal exchange, fair exchange, ain't no robbery. He said, hey man, I've got this immortal gift. I'm gonna, hook you up. But no, you were brutalized, and then you were made to beg for something. After you were at your worst. I thought that this was so horrifying. And so terrible. And to think that Lestat for these hundreds of years since has been living a lie. Like, this is the story that you've been purporting and telling people so that you can look at yourself in the mirror and not be this victim. But you really are, because it still breaks you. It has to. Look at him. Look at his mouth. And that was all over you. And then you're looking over at this band of all of these other blonde boys that look just like you that didn't make it. And now you kind of have to wrestle with that. And I think also, of course, it mirrors the brutality of the essay that Claudia endured, but also how Claudia was turned against her will. Like, no, I don't want this. Like, Lestat did not want an immortal gift at this moment. I thought it was really sincere, this moment. And like I said, I do like how it was interwoven with Claudia's story. And because then it makes you question everything that we've heard from the viewpoint of Louis and Armand in the earlier seasons. Like, would a person who was victimized in this same way be okay with everything that happened to Claudia. Now, what happened after, I don't know. But we already know Claudia, one, was really good at blocking out anybody. Also, Lestat being her maker can't be inside her head. That was part of the whole thing, right? When he's your maker, he can't just invade your, in that way. And so it just makes you really look at everything. Did he even really threaten her?
Yeah,
When he said, did that conversation play out the way that we think it did
I'm
on
trying
the
to
train?
think, because we just rewatched the series. When she comes back and it's like, did he know before, or did it just register to him in that moment, like, oh, you experienced some brutality out there, that did it just register to him, or did he like have some, I don't know. I'm not
if there was a relation to Bruce, if he had known Bruce before. I've always questioned that, if they had some sort of connection prior to everything, because Lestat's warning was always, those old vampires, those other vampires are horrible. Like, they'll kill you. You'd never want to meet them. They're the worst things ever. You have no idea what cruelty is. So it does make me question. And then they're on the Vampire Network. We've heard them in the first couple episodes of this season when they're talking. So did Bruce tell the Fang Gang what he did? Like, and he heard it after the fact? I mean, I don't know.
It just makes me question everything, because how can you be met with such brutality and have someone, whether how she was turned or not, Claudia was very much so your responsibility, looking to you as a father, and we didn't realize that until later. But I would think some part of him after this, maybe because he was trying to block it out, you would, feel for her in that way and do your best to something. It was just constantly, but once again, this is all Louis' perspective. Yeah. So maybe it's like Louis was the one in his dad's sweater, pining away, the house going into shambles, and I'm searching every byline looking for Claudia. Meanwhile, Lestat didn't care. Like, did he really not care? I need to go over there. I want to see. Dumb. Oh, go ahead, Ashley.
We're talking about the journal. We don't really know if all of that is Claudia's words. There's pages ripped out. There's things. I don't trust Armand as far as I can throw him. I don't know what really the relationship between Lestat and Claudia was fully. We don't know. We don't really know. And can we trust the validity of all of her diaries? I don't know.
Dumb.
Man. Yeah, I saw the same. I watched a little after the episode clip where they was talking about this episode, and I was like, y'all, this was extra brutal for y'all. This was as brutal as it could get. The juxtaposition between the music video and the brutality, I wanted to really hit that home. This is what y'all gave me. And then when Lestat was talking, he was talking about how the next scene, how the blood was getting in his eyes, and it was so gruesome. But then you see, and that's a great representation of your experience on set doesn't always translate to on screen, because I didn't see nothing go in your eye. It just seemed like drip, drip, drip in your mouth. And so you look like you was at a Trey Songz concert during the Say I era. And so I was like, I didn't get it. Now his face, when he's face down on the wood and he look of terror on his eye, acting wise, he sold the brutality. I felt like what was being done to him was brutal. But as far as showing it, nah, I didn't see none of that. But it did. I think it did do its job, where we got the glossy 80s music video rendition versus the more accurate rendition. I think sold home of like just how much Lestat is covering up and hiding. And this is a common thing with vampires when you do vampire stories well, is like vampires don't age, which means they don't grow. And that is reflected internally. They're stagnant. That's why they can have 1,000-year-old grudges. And that's why they can have 1,000-year-old trauma, because they don't grow. And they don't experience life in a progressive way. So they're stuck and stagnant. And so their issues are stuck and stagnant. Ain't no vampires going to see Ileana. There's no life to fix. And so to me, this was a great way to do vampires and what a vampire story is supposed to be. I was shocked and appalled when Magnus came on screen. I was like, that's Magnus, right? I was like, we have unlimited cosmic power. We ain't got no toothpaste. Like, I just yeah, and they've been talking about it in the chat. Like, we've been so accustomed to these beautiful vampires and not just in the show, just in media for the last 30 years. You know, we done got away from the scary vampires and we done got to the shiny, modelly vampires, and it's
Swatu.
just I just this was horrible to the point where I was like, "Oh, that's not really Magnus." When we first, until he started hallucinating and Magnus showed up in the backseat of his car, I was like, "That's not really Magnus. This is just what he wants, Magnus. This is the pathetic person he thinks Magnus is." But then when he showed up in the backseat of the car, I was like, "Oh, that's Magnus with the yuck mouth." Oh man, that's the person we're supposed to be scared of this whole time. If he ain't got but 2 teeth and they the vampire teeth, oh my
I
God.
swear, I was like, "Are you toothless? How are you going to bite it?"
I was just like, this is Magnus. I was like, you did this. And I was like, I get it now, Lestat. Because if somebody like that looked like that did all that to me, I'm not talking about it either. Batman couldn't get that information out of me. No. If somebody gonna brutalize me, it's gonna be somebody that looked like they could brutalize me. I'm not, no. Not Sirius Black when he was in Azkaban. Not doing it. Not doing it. But yeah, this was crazy.
Good. He looks. I said, "Ugh, damn."
Yeah.
Thank you for the super chat. Lestat said the day Daniel was turned, and it was months later, the interview. I think he didn't turn him from spite. I think something else happened. I think it's both. Because he was feeling some type of way when he said, pack your Xbox and get the hell out of here, Arun. I don't want you to
I just thought it was implied because when he left, he was like, and don't kill him. Don't kill him. And he was like, all right, I ain't gonna kill him. I got you. That just seemed like the pettiness of Arun.
But once we, get towards the end and we turn into Speed Racer, because he's just like, oh, this is just all too much flooding back at once. We're tormented and hunted by Magnus. I was like, oh my God, Magnus, you look awful. And it's still something that he's actively trying to hide from. Like, Lestat is just so broken. I'm like, oh my God, you ain't have no business turning nobody. Like, you should have dealt with that long before. You need to go. Where is vampire therapy? Where is that? But it's just a sense of, why am I not physically really driving completely off the cliff, even though I can be confronted with these truths by Magnus and a Lestat merch t-shirt. I want a shirt. I want a shirt. Anybody out there? I want a shirt. And actively flip the car and, I wish I was dead. I wish I could just end it all. But I'm not. I'm going to get up, dust myself off, and walk away from this fire because at the end of the day, I still love the music. I'm still here for a purpose. I still love, the essence of the band, and we get a song. Great performance. I loved everything. And, he's still tortured. We see, these elements kind of walking away. Like I said, Gabrielle, she coming back. The thought of, Magnus or even seeing darling Nikki in the crowd and it's kind of fading out, but they're always going to be there. You are not okay. Actually, what did you think about this performance and us going so crazy to flip the car? I said, at least you didn't hurt any pedestrians.
He was going through it, honey. That's how I was trying to have Claudia haunting everybody, but I don't know if we're going to get it that way. But no, I like the music. I love the loneliness. I thought that song was super great. I liked Why Do I Have to Feel? I think that was Magnus's song. He's like, I promised you this song. You got your song from me. Leave me to hell alone now. I finished my task and my purpose. What pissed me off was the smirk on the bob in that audience, because girl, you see your son is unraveling, melting, doing all of that. And this is my cue. Yeah, he'll really need me next. But no, I thought the performances were top tier. I think The Loneliness is probably my favorite song thus far that's come out of this. And again, kudos to Sam Reid, baby, because you out here singing, dancing, doing a two-step, playing your doppelganger. You're out here doing the most. And I love that for all of us. And I hope he gets some awards. And hopefully this hold that Magnus has had on him from the great beyond stops now that the song has been released. Like, I really wanted to know more about that connection, about that promise, and why it was so significant to him. And if this was, in a way, somehow freeing for Lestat, or is he even going to be more broken next episode? Because we've seen him on binges. We've seen him taking all of the rugs, doing all of the things up to this point. So now that he has laid himself bare, even if it was only in Daniel's mind, where do we go from here? Like, does he go further out or does he rein it in a little bit? I'm curious about it.
That's the thing though. That's what I'm kind of confused on as far as our direction. Like even in this moment, I couldn't just say, okay, well now he's evolving, like he's healing from traumas, he's confronting something. You really don't even know that much, and that's alarming to me. Dumb.
Yeah, that crash scene was boring to me. Only because I don't know what I was supposed to be feeling. Because you're zigging and zagging through traffic. I'm not worried about you. It's like, oh no, slow down. Like that's not what I'm feeling. And so it's like what? And then you crashed, and then you popped up and walked away, and it was like, all right, are you over it now? Was that the culmination of all this trauma, and like you good now? And the song was the period on that. I didn't get that, or I don't get the motivation for that, because why if it took this long to have that monkey on your back, what was it that got you out of it? I don't know. I have no clue. So that whole scene was more confusing than anything to me. The song and the performance was great. The song, I was so cold on these songs when the show started. Episode 1, them songs, I was like, nah. And then episode 2, I was like, yeah. And then so this I was like, oh, these songs are great now. These songs are good. And he Sam Reid is. I just need him to get an Emmy nomination. Just put some respect on his name. I mean, just because genre shows don't really get a lot of love. They act like if you in vampire sci-fi stuff, they'd be like, yeah, you doing kid stuff. But he really out here putting in work. So I just hope they do something to recognize that. His mama, I feel like Tyra was like, what are you here for? And it's like, because I just don't know what that scene symbolized, because you had Nikki in the crowd, who's not really there, supposedly, turn around and walk out. Then you had Magnus in the crowd, turn around and walk out, which feels to me as an audience member like you're telling me, all right, these chapters are over with. Like these chapters of his life have been dealt with, even though we don't know how. I don't know what happened, but we dealt with that, and this is the exit. But then the mama, who's actually there, does the same thing, and I don't know what that's supposed to mean. I don't know what I'm not reading into, or what I'm not catching, or what I'm missing. But that the symbolism of all of that was lost on me. So I was just like, oh, okay, I guess that means the episode's over. That's what that means. All right, cool.
I just was like, all right, now sing the beautiful ones. Go on, get your purple rain on. Since you up there giving your best. Every performance is like, okay, now I'm giving you Rocky Horror. I'm giving you David Bowie. I'm giving you some Freddie Mercury. You're gonna get some Prince tonight. He's going through all the motions, all the stars. I was here for it. I like the purple too. In my mind, it could have been a Prince ode, but that's just probably because I love Prince. It probably had nothing to do with Prince. Now, lastly, we going down to the diner with Regina. Say it's Regina now. After we tell Buki, did you get everything you needed? Do you have your closure now that you went and handled that situation all about Claudia? Yeah, I got what I need. I'm cool. We are not, just like with us flipping the car and over here with Lestat, you're not okay, Buki. You're not okay. Like, until you confront, as much as I love Lestat, a lot of this past that we're getting into, current day, from what we've seen, you've perpetuated these same things that damaged you onto people, onto Lestat, onto all in the name of trying to chase whatever you felt like you desired. You became what you hated and what made you this entire time. And then you got Louis over here. I put him over here clutching them pearls, because that's when she told him all about the misdeeds, and it was just like my baby. We clutched them pearls in Paris, and it took all the way up until this day for us to unclutch them and go on down here and handle business all about Bruce. But that didn't do anything for you, Louis. You're not healed and you're not okay, because you're down here in Regina's space looking for some semblance of peace. Like, he want to ask, are you Claudia? Do you know? Is there anything? Like, it does not work that way. You can't rewrite some wrongs from the past in the future with I'm hoping, like, I would hope that Regina actually looks like this is like some type of reincarnation type of thing, because we keep having that shot in the trailer of Louis asking Lestat, can you go in there and check to see if it's really her? If we go in there and it's someone else, okay. Okay. I thought what we would get, and I love this idea, but I thought we would get Claudia hunting asses. I thought she was going to be hunting folks. That's what I was looking forward to in this season, her popping up, looming, like we had Magnus do in the backseat of that vehicle. I thought she was going to be torturing their asses, but I would understand, I guess, since she isn't like the one skeleton or whatever in Lestat's closet, but she's the one we're the most familiar with. So how she's kind of literally taking a back seat, I couldn't really get into this moment of, I'm Regina. Okay, I don't know what we're supposed to do with that, but clutch them pearls, Louis. Dumb.
I actually like, so if they lean into a real reincarnation and like her old memories wake up, I would prefer that over her being haunted for a couple reasons. One, I don't care about it being haunted 100 years later. I don't like the fact that it took her this long to become a poltergeist and haunt Louis. It just makes no sense to me. But also, like Louis said in last episode when he was telling the story of how when he first saw her, she can be older now, so we don't have to pretend like this lady ain't getting older. If she's just reincarnated and she's just in a human body now, then it's like, okay, the fact that this actress is visibly older to my eyes, I don't have to do the Stranger Things and just disregard it. That just logistically makes more sense to me. And the reincarnation to me makes more sense to me. I don't like, we only got 7 episodes, and then I know you're gonna stretch this in the next season too. I don't need y'all to draw out her waking up. If she's gonna wake up, wake her up. And if she's not gonna wake up, then do what Louis got to do and move on. But if it's gonna be reincarnation and a real reincarnation, cool. I'm good with it. I just feels like this in the house show just feels like a different show. I feel like I'm watching 2 different shows that were cramming into half a show. We only got 7 episodes, so I feel like the investment only goes so far, because I'm like, yeah, you still got all this cachet from the last 2 seasons where this was Interview with a Vampire, Louis Dupont Black story. So yeah, I'm invested, but also what are we doing? Because this is also a whole different storyline going on than these. I just don't trust y'all to connect them in a satisfying way in 4 or more episodes. I don't buy it.
Ashley.
Child, I don't know, girl. I don't know. I don't know who this is. Who this woman? I see in the chat like he's superimposing Claudia's face on some stranger in the diner. Child, I don't know. The only thing I can say I don't want to see. I'm fine with Ghost Claudia. I'm fine with the reincarnated Claudia if she can recall. That would be cool. What I'm not going to be good with is if they try to turn Regina like Louis. I need Louis to get a grip. I don't know. Now that this is an adult, Louis is not above it. Listen, Louis is not above it to assuage his guilt or get some sort of companionship with the daughter sister that he never had. Like, as long as they don't go over there, I'm okay with it. But Louis is a broken man. Louis, internally, he ain't gonna tell nobody, knows what he did. He knows that this is all his fault. He knows that he should have let that baby burn. Unfortunately, I'm so sorry. He should have let that baby burn, especially after getting the warnings. I think this is going to be his cross to bear for eternity. But knowing Louis, he's going to try to do something that's going to royally F it up even more. And like I said, if that means turning this young waitress here, if that means, going and doing some other stunts, I don't know. But the way he sat there, fine now, because he was fine sitting in that diner. That's his color. That yellow, that blush and bashful, that's his color. But as he was sitting there and you have everything you need, no, Louis never has everything that he needs. He always needs more. He lives his life for validation and companionship. And I'm afraid of where they're going with this. I was here for Ghost Claudia. I'm here for a haunt. I would torture them. I'd be here for that. But don't make this lady a vampire, Louis. Don't do that.
I should hope we don't do that. Actually, they better not. Like, there is no reason that would be a violation and a repeat of everything that we were trying to overcome for a million years. Don't bite her. Like, please.
Louis still don't have a fledgling, right? He still hasn't made anybody, right?
I mean, technically, they shared making. Oh, girl, what's her name?
Madeline.
I said Meredith. Madeline. They, she didn't last very long, but he
no live ones.
No live ones. They better not. Like then that means we're never going to be okay. If we resort to changing Regina into Claudia, we're never going to be okay. Like, please, oh God, please don't do that.
Wait.
Ashley, any predictions for the next episode?
Child, I don't know. I have no clue. I didn't watch a trailer. I have not watched a trailer. I have no idea what we're headed for. Probably imminent disaster. I don't know. As long as I get to see Louis Dupont du Lac a little bit more, I'm okay with that. As long as I get to see Lestat up there singing some song, I'll be fine. Girl, I don't know. I don't know.
Dom, any predictions?
Maybe they'll tell us why he went back to Lioncourt, because when he met Nikki, he had threw off his last name. I don't know what they're gonna decide deserves to get delved into. We probably gonna see that old lady get smashed again, or jiggle some balls in her hand, and it would probably get another side quest. I'm thinking, because this is episode 4. This will be episode 4. So I'm thinking we're gonna get the Daniel retribution, or the seeds of his retribution, what his retribution is gonna be. And I don't know, when is Aaliyah showing up?
You keep saying Aaliyah.
Because until somebody else show up, it's just Aaliyah, and ain't nobody else here. So I just want more black people on the show. I just want more black people on the show. And I'm tired of waiting.
I want to know what Arun is cooking up, because while you down there at the AA whatever meeting with the ex-bandmate who's probably gonna make his way back into the group because he was there, they're blowing up, they're everywhere. If you don't know about him yet, you're gonna know about him soon. You trying to connect and have a friend? What, you trying to gain access to the tour bus, Arun? Like what purpose do you have to be there? You could just roll up any given Sunday on down there with Daniel and Lestat, or hell, even Louis. No, you down here at the meeting in disguise as Arun. I'm looking to see some more of that in the next episode. But like where we're going, who the hell knows? I don't know. I have no clue. Let me get this super chat. Thank you, Drew Chase, for the super chat. Louise needs to stay away from Regina because baby Jinx is on the loose. Like, I don't know why. Like, as thorough as we are, we're not leaving no loose ends. We just happen to leave Jinx alive to run amok and do some damage. Louis,
you've been watching a lot of Kill Bill. That's all.
Like, oh, she's not formidable. She's not a threat. I don't know. But y'all, that was the live discussion for the Vampire Lestat. Ashley, anything you want to share with people?
Yes, please go run up my Please go run up The Polygamist review if you have watched The Polygamist on Netflix. If you haven't, go watch it, because I'm thinking about even taking a deeper dive because it got messy over there. Please also take a look at all the uploads, the Lestat uploads, the House of the Dragon. If you're watching that, I did the premiere upload, and just be on the lookout, you guys. I get my new keys tomorrow. I will be all moved in by Sunday. So please just be on the lookout for more lives, more content, all of the things. And thank y'all for coming through, supporting the live and giving and sowing the seed. We didn't even have to say lock them doors, and y'all came through dripping tonight. And we appreciate that every time. We love the money that folds. Ain't that right?
Amen. Amen.
No, Ashley,
Amen.
lock them doors. Lock them doors. Lock them doors. Lock them doors.
Well.
I need a giving of $20 from everybody before y'all leave the chat. Lock them doors. Dom, anything you want to share with the people?
Yeah, and the Lord said, "Give with a happy heart." But come on over. I got a cold. Come on over to Cinematic Pain on the YouTubes and the TikToks and the Instagram. We talking about House of the Dragon. We talking about Sugar. We talking about tomorrow is Supergirl, so I'll be talking about Supergirl. And yeah, it's gonna be a good old time. We're gonna be making some people mad and making some people come to the realization that I really am right, and I just rub people the wrong way. But come on through.
Thank you, Dom. Thank you guys so much for watching. We will see you guys with more content real soon. Y'all have a good night.